Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bregaton. Let's change our party formation. Not that it actually matters since you choose your position at the beginning of combat. Except for ambushes, so it matters a little bit then. But even then, when you're running around, your party doesn't stay in formation. So if you get ambushed while you're pathing through an area, it still doesn't matter.
Is there money to be made?
What's that?
Faith without deeds is worthless. Each strike is a
There
prayer.
it is. Shadows are reversed for a moment.
Such is the will of chaos.
Death to the weak! Ah! Chaos guides me. Let's make some opportunities.
I am your doom.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. At your beck and call.
Take care of him, and then... Alright. Do that then.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
I know what is
That
to
is
come.
unfortunate for you. Your last act in this galaxy, and it was wasted.
Another enemy down. Who if not me?
Victory is I took care of this one.
And there we have it.
Keep your wits about you.
More cargo junk. An exact replica of the Von Valancius void ship sits on the pedestal. Labels indicate the main compartments and decks of the vessel. Titles and authors are printed in gold on the spines of the books. The library contains works on Imperium theology, law codices, biographical sketches, and chronicles of the greatest military conflicts of the Coronis Expanse and the Calixtus sector.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
The cozy seating area is completely destroyed. Pieces of furniture and splinters are scattered everywhere, and dark stains cover the floor and upholstery. The cogitator is silent. It seems that its machine spirit is no longer being powered by the motive force.
That's how it's done.
Alright, Operator's Gloves. Wear gains a +3 bonus to tech use. And some Melta charges. Now tech use... actually best on my main character.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. I always get the job done. Just as I planned. That's how it's done.
A shotgun. Fight selflessly and lower not your bloodied arms to the last foe humankind is slain. And then our secondary slot. Oh no, we don't have a talent yet. Oh, that's right, I didn't get my talents either. So real quick, I've already seen this on my main character, except for the flagship post abilities. So we have Take It Easy. Cooldown of focus efforts is reduced by -1, and Double Wall. Reinforced Shields has a 50% chance to reinforce one additional random void shield sector. Alright then, Abelard, a warrior, a Melta weapon proficiency. Allows a character to use Melta weapons, such as a Melta gun, multi-Melta, and others. A field medic. Allows the warrior to use medikits without the Medikai skill. Also, the warrior gains an additional +5 wounds whenever medikit is used on them. Iconoclast we've seen. Dogmatic. Imperial World. An Imperial World is one of a million planets united by the belief in the immortal god Emperor. Hailing from hyper-technological societies to grimy feudal populations, the inhabitants of countless worlds offer fealty and devotion to the master of humanity and the imperial creed espoused by his servants. The designation Imperial World encompasses a vast array of wholly dissimilar worlds that are, nevertheless, part of the Imperium. Humanity's finest, Imperial World characters can select any characteristic except for weapon skill or ballistic skill, and add a +10. A Navy officer. The Imperial Navy is responsible for the fleets of void ships that assert the dominance of the Imperium amid the stars, and fulfill other duties connected to the void and warp travel. He used to be a Navy officer and a commander of a void ship, hardened in numerous battles and famous for resounding victories. And so he chose toughness for his humanity's finest talent, and heavy armor proficiency allows the wearing of heavy armor. And flagship post abilities, a spin around. By the end of swing run, the flagship can choose its position out of 3 directions instead of taking the opposite one. And shortcut. New heading cooldown is reduced by -1 round. Adira. Operative, analyze enemies, we've seen those. Divination. Divination specializes in gleaning information and using it to turn fortune in your favor. Diviners find useful insights everywhere, manifesting extrasensory abilities and glimpsing the future. And we've seen forewarning. Telepathy. Telepaths are psychers whose mental expertise lies in contacting and controlling the minds of others. With a single thought, a telepath can tear away his foe's sanity, induce states of numbing terror, or possess his victims' thoughts and mold their actions as if they were his own. And we've seen Heretical. Forsaken World. The planet of Lyra, or Lyra, lies in the deeper reaches of the Kronos Expanse. After a prolonged loss of contact with the Imperium, its population descended into heresy and turned to sorcery and forbidden knowledge to ensure their own survival and welfare. And she also has humanity's finest and willpower. And she's an unsanctioned psyker. This character is an unsanctioned psyker, dangerous and uncontrolled. All psychic powers used by this character have 5% chance to trigger perils of the warp, and are resolved as if the psyker's psi rating was +1 level higher. And then flagship post abilities, High Tide, increases the damage Warp Wave deals by 10%. An exact prediction, Arc Augury gains +1 range and lasts for 2 weapon attacks instead of just 1. And Argenta, a field medic we've seen, Dogmatic, Imperial World we've also read, Humanity's Finest we've seen, and she has agility for that. Adeptus Sororitas, also known as the Sisters of Battle, the warriors of the Adeptus Sororitas believe their faith to be a weapon far stronger than any steel. They strike their foes down with the holy trinity of Bolter, Flamer, and Melta, fearlessly striding into battle, chanting hymns of praise and calling upon the Emperor to aid them. So my first playthrough I did use a Flamer build with her. This time it will be a Bolter. Bolter weapon proficiency allows the character to use bolt weapons such as Bolter or Bolt Pistol. A flame weapon proficiency allows the character to use flame weapons such as a Flamer, Heavy Flamer, or Hand Flamer. A power armor proficiency allows the wearing of power armor, which we won't see until much later in the game, unfortunately. And then flagship post abilities, Lance Reload. Expeditious Reload will also reload the Proud Lance weapon. However, that weapon will suffer a -25% extra penalty to hit chance when shooting. And shortcut we saw on Abelard. Another level up. So main character gets Endure. Until the warrior's next turn, they gain +2 deflection and +10 temporary wounds. Wounds are based off level, and deflection is based off toughness. Abelard will get the same thing. Adira gets Exposed Weakness. The operative removes all exploits from the target, decreasing the target's dodge, parry, and armor by a percentage, to the start of the operative's next turn. This ability reduces the target's armor to 0. The operative removes only half of the exploits from the target. And Argenta gets Revel in Slaughter. The soldier immediately removes the Winded effect. Until the end of combat, the soldier gains the following bonuses: +10 ballistic skill, +15% critical damage, +5% critical hit chance. This ability becomes available after the soldier kills 3 enemies. The kill counter is not reset between rounds.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
Alright, Deck Officer's Helmet grants +5% armor. Fallen Steel has blocked the path to the lifts. You have to look for another way to Edelthrad, sorry. Got how to say his name.
Rushnod Dordal.
The benches and even the cogitator, torn from its proper place, are stacked in a rough semblance of a barricade. What is this? Did they shoot us with something? I can't see a thing. The roar of the flames rings in your ears, and the choking smoke makes you cough and gasp for air. You instinctively recoil from the scorching heat, wiping your face. A moment later, a hazy silhouette forms in the raging wall of fire. You are surrounded by ear-splitting noise and screaming, yet you distinctly hear the sound of footsteps. Then you see the figure walk out of the fire toward you. It is Theodora von Valancius.
Are you lost, my heir?
Her expression is calm, terrifyingly so for someone whose body is engulfed in an inferno. One of her hands is resting on the hilt of her power sword. The other is raised in an inviting gesture.
An apparition. A sorceress. Apparition. Trickery of the warp.
Argenta goes as still as a statue, then slowly raises her weapon.
Sister, you will lower your weapon. Threatening the Lord Captain is outrageous.
Despite his commanding tone, Abelard does not sound too confident. He is staring at the rogue trader, and you notice a muscle in his cheek twitching. How did you get here?
I am a rogue trader. I am wherever my will demands me to be. Would you prefer to be elsewhere at this time? Indubitably. But are you ready?
So this is added voice acting. This section was not voice acted the first time I played through here.
I can lead you out of these flames, show you a path, rid you of pain, and give you a weapon so that you may defeat your enemies. Decide.
Theodora watches you without blinking. Her snake-like gaze almost makes you forget about the fire searing you, leaving burns on your skin. Your mouth begins to salivate. Each word Theodora speaks is like music to your ears. The entity that now dwells in the deepest recesses of your mind is pleading, begging, demanding that you give her an immediate answer. That answer can be nothing other than acceptance.
Do not listen to this abomination. If there is naught but his light in your heart, if you are resolute in your faith, then step into the flames. The Emperor protects. His faithful will not be deterred by either darkness or deceitful promises. Nor will the fire burn those who carry the torch of faith in their soul.
To the void with you. We need to follow Lady Theodora before we suffocate in this furnace.
The people! The survivors from the middle decks! We must help the crew! Lead them out! Find a way around!
Abelard looks back at the coughing and confused people around you. Over the roaring flames, you hear distant sounds. Frightened voices, screams. Muffled and distorted, as if there were a body of water between you and them.
Then we'll miss our chance to meet up with Elo. What are we waiting for?
Adira breaks off and starts coughing violently. Her knees buckle. She looks like she is about to fall. So I did the dogmatic option my first playthrough. You'll walk through the fire unscathed, as will your party, but the soldiers around you, or enforcers, will all die in the fire. We'll do Iconoclast this time. Get the people off the bridge. I will not leave my people in harm's way. You look away, and the illusion breaks. The unbearable heat instantly makes your skin burn, and the voices of the people beyond the shroud of smoke grow stronger, and hopeful, once you and your companions rush back, barking orders and guiding the survivors. In your determination, you completely forget about Theodora, and when you turn your head, you see nothing but the bellowing fire. Back, fall back. We'll go around.
Is there money to be made?
Where did it go? The thing that was standing in front of us in the fire? I could have sworn.
To the same place all unholy visions go. Do you want to follow it, witch?
A massive podium rises above the gap in the main temple. A bold architectural decision that could turn into a disaster with a well-placed shot. Crash the platform.
Never doubt me.
Too late. We are too late. Or perhaps Edelthrad and his escort never made it here. Which would be even worse.
Oh, so there's a repercussion for that. So dogmatic, the repercussion is your men die. Abelard throws his hands up in despair.
Or they could be fighting on the bridge as we speak. Without us.
Argenta grips her weapon.
My lord, I beg your pardon for interrupting. The people are asking for orders. You came back to save us. So now we will follow you through thick and thin.
The officer quickly bows.
To the bridge. If Edelthrad is there, then he requires immediate assistance. I say there is one thing that I find most troubling. The Lord Captain's voxcasts. They are still coming in, even though it would make sense for Lady Theodora to be on the bridge right now, at the head of the counter-assault. I feel uneasy. What if the Lord Captain is besieged in her own chambers? With your permission, I suggest that we confirm for ourselves that she is not. We can use the same elevator that Lady Theodora and Mort headed for earlier.
Abelard turns to you.
I always keep my options open.
The generators hum softly. When you draw closer, your skin begins to tingle from static discharges.
I always have a backup plan.
We should deal with this.
This clearly does not serve as a stateroom. The generators, machines, and crude wall paneling indicate that it is a maintenance module room, rather than an area for receiving guests. Alex Mechanics Goggles grants +3 logic. It's probably also best. So let's see, 30. Best on my main character. Yeah. But I've got a helmet on, so I'm not going to do it.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Plasma conduits blaze with energy capable of powering a vast void ship.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
A bizarre fragment hung on a trophy board. The light smooth surface of the object is dotted with dark spots and crumbling holes.
Is there money to be made?
Alright, helmet of the devoted protector. so it requires Dogmatic Follower. Its helmet grants its wearer immunity to enemy critical hits for the first 3 rounds of combat. The parlor organ seems to have been sitting idle for many years. Theodora's Rosary. The wearer of this amulet gains a +10 bonus to Commerce and Lore Imperium.
I always keep my options open.
Rogue Trader's Cloak grants +5 Fellowship for each enemy in a 2-cell radius. So I did take a penalty to Fellowship on my main character, but it is a good... Whoops. A characteristic to have. The murder scene looks like something caught in the victims by surprise. Oh. Theodora von Valancius' body is sprawled on a large, blood-drenched desk. The Archmilitant's corpse, still clutching a weapon, is slumped against one of the bulkheads.
Emperor, accept thy faithful souls.
The Sister of Battle surveys the scene, her gaze lingering on the Archmilitant's body. Sister of Battle, Adeptus Sororitas, are the devout warriors who serve as the militant arm of the Adeptus Ministorum. They're not allowed to keep a, They can't have any men under arms after the... Oh, what was the, His name starts with a V. There's a member of the Ecclesiarchy that basically overthrew the Imperium for a bit. It started with a V. Oh well, either way.
No! Lord Captain, I didn't hear a thing. Not a whisper, not a breath. It was so loud. Why didn't I foresee this?
Adira's heartrending scream shakes the walls. She collapses to her knees, her body shuddering as she weeps.
Lord Captain, who would even dare? Unless that rat, Voidsphere.
Abelard, stunned, takes a few steps forward and leans heavily on the edge of the desk. His eyes are locked on Theodora's body. I doubt it. Warfare visited or wished humiliation and suffering upon Theodora, not a swift death.
It could have happened in the heat of battle. Not to mention that Mort was here, and he would have protected Lady Theodora to the last. How could Mort have failed her so terribly? The Archmilitant was born on a death world. He had lightning-fast reflexes.
Unless it was somebody he knew and trusted.
I can look at things in my own way. If you find something that might bear the imprint of the killer, just give it to me, and I'll try to see what secrets it holds.
Adira sobs and gets up. She glances around, looking lost. Examine Theodora's body. You lean closer to the body. The cause of death is apparent. What ended the rogue trader's life was an auto pistol shot. Oh, interesting. An extraordinarily accurate one at that. Theodora's face bears an expression of surprise, the last emotion she experienced in life. Something on the floor catches your eye. A heap of blood-spattered parchments and scrolls that must have fallen off the desk. As you lean down for a closer look, you notice something else. Small shards of glass scattered on the floor. Adira, when you try touching Theodora, you might be able to see the killer through her eyes.
It doesn't work like that. I can try to read the memories of objects, but dead bodies are a different story. Something like that would require her soul. And after what we saw on the officer's deck, I won't risk searching for it in the warp.
Adira's whole body shudders. Inspect the shards by the desk. It is difficult to say what exactly was broken. The object fell on the floor, and that is as much as you can ascertain. Upon closer examination, the shards appear iridescent, rather than completely transparent, as if they had been submerged in promethium. Promethium is just oil. Yeah, broad term for combustible fuel in the Imperium of Man. Inspect the papers. Reports, accounts, dispatches. You go over the scrolls until you stumble upon a document that is starkly different from the rest. It is a handwritten letter signed with the initials XC, and a seal with a symbol that is vaguely familiar to you. Yeah, the Inquisitorial seal. Xavier Calcazar. And sends a shiver down your spine. Spooky, scary skeletons. The author of this letter addressed to Theodora von Valancius, signed it with the seal of the one of the Holy Ordos of the Emperor's Inquisition, the secret police of the Imperium, that relentlessly hunts heretics, xenos, and other enemies of humanity. The Inquisition, the secret organization tasked with hunting down the myriad threats to the stability of the Imperium and all mankind. Adira, what did these shards tell you?
I see streaks of color, luminescence, blue lights, faces drawing closer. Lady Theodora and Conrad and what is that? Ah! Something dark, enormous. Oh, this glass thing was something foul, that's for sure.
Adira scoops up a handful of shards and clenches them in her fist with such strength that blood starts dripping on the floor. She shakes her hand, looking frightened.
Tainted witchcraft.
Cannot tell if Argenta's remark is directed at the glass shards or Adira herself. Examine the Archmilitant's body. Not a pistol shot went straight through Mort's forehead, spraying the floor and the furniture around it with blood, brain matter, and shards of his skull. The safety on the Archmilitant's weapon is off. The killer must have been a split second quicker than he. We'd best be on our way.
Yes, the crucible of battle calls to me once more.
No, wait! We must see if we can find anything.
Idira, you can't bring her back. Let her go.
Abelard lays a hand on her shoulder.
You'd give up so easily, old man? I expected as much from the sister. It's not like she has a heart. But you? Oh no. I'll get to the bottom of this. I'll find the one responsible for murdering the Lord Captain. And when I do, that scum will regret the day they were born.
Adira clenches her fists.
Keep your wits about you.
Alright, so I'm going to call it here. I think there's another fight. Enemies come up this elevator over here. So next time we'll take care of that, and we'll make it to the bridge. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.